Hello, fellow seekers of forgotten secrets. Did you know that in the scorched cliffs by the Dead Sea lies a map etched not in ink but in pure copper, promising a fortune that could buy empires, yet no one has ever claimed it? Today, we're plunging into the heart of the Copper Scroll, the most enigmatic of the Dead Sea Scrolls, uncovering its billion-dollar treasures, the desperate souls who hid them, and the riddles that have baffled scholars for decades. By the end, you'll wonder if this ancient vault is still waiting under your feet. If you crave these lost tales of mystery and might, hit subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a whisper from the ancients. Let's start at the beginning, in the blistering summer of 1952, when the world was still reeling from war and wonder. Archaeologist Gerald Langster Harding, leading a team from the Jordanian Department of Antiquities, was scouring the rugged caves near Qumran, a desolate spot on the Dead Sea's northwest shore. Bedouin shepherds had already unearthed thousands of parchment scrolls here since 1947, texts that rewrote the Bible's story. But this cave, number 3, held something heavier, something that hummed with the weight of metal. Tucked at the back, rolled tight like a forgotten relic, was a pair of corroded cylinders, about a foot long each. They weren't fragile skin or papyrus. They were copper, alloyed with a whisper of tin, oxidized into green patina after 2 millennia. Harding's heart must have raced. Copper in a cave. This was no ordinary find. It was a survivor, forged to outlast time itself. Imagine the scene, the air thick with dust and expectation, lanterns flickering against jagged rock walls. The team knew the Dead Sea Scrolls were treasures, biblical manuscripts, community rules from a shadowy Jewish sect, perhaps the Essenes, who lived here fleeing Roman oppression. But this, it weighed like a promise of gold. Back in camp, they realized unrolling it would shatter it to dust. So, off it went to Manchester, England, in 1955, to the clever hands of engineer H. Wright Baker. Using a jeweler's saw, he sliced the rolls lengthwise into 23 fragile strips, revealing a script hammered in from behind ancient Hebrew, but not the poetic flow of Isaiah. This was Mishnaic Hebrew, the everyday tongue of first-century Jews, laced with Greek loanwords like talent for massive weights of precious metal. Supervised by scholar John Marco Allegro, the text emerged, a ledger of Loot 64 hiding spots across the Judean wilderness, from Jerusalem's gates to desert wadis, detailing hordes of gold bars, silver ingots, sacred vessels, and even scrolls of law. One entry alone, 900 talents of silver, over 30 tons, buried in a cistern at a place called the Descent of the Priest. In today's dollars, billions. It wasn't poetry. It was a panic list, a last gasp before catastrophe. Now, picture the terror that birthed this scroll. We're stepping back to 70 CE, when Rome's legions, under Titus, son of Emperor Vespasian, marched on Jerusalem like a storm of iron. The Second Temple, that gleaming heart of Judaism, rebuilt by Herod the Great as a marble miracle, adorned with gold menorahs, silver trumpets, and gem-encrusted ark replicas, stood as the final bastion in the First Jewish-Roman War. For 4 years, Jewish rebels, zealots, and priests had held the city against siege, but starvation gnawed at them. Eyewitness Flavius Josephus, a Jewish defector turned Roman historian, paints the horror in the Jewish war. Streets choked with corpses, families devouring leather belts, the air rank with despair. Inside the temple, priests whispered of prophecies, Daniel's visions of empires crumbling, a Messiah to reclaim the holy. But as Roman catapults hurled fireballs, shattering the outer walls, a desperate plan formed. Not all would fight to the death. Some would safeguard the sacred. Envision a young priest, let's call him Eliar, face gaunt, robes torn, eyes burning with forbidden hope. In the temple's shadowed vaults by flickering oil lamps, he oversees the frantic exodus of wealth. Gold from tides, poured into amphorae, silver from Sinai mines, stacked in chests, 200 talents of temple gold, enough to gild a palace, wrapped in linen and sealed with priestly oaths. Josephus tells us Romans looted what they could, melting down the golden vines on the sanctuary doors, but not everything. Eliar's team slips out under moonless skies, zealot guards fending off patrols. They trekked the Judean hills, past Ein-Gedi's springs, burying caches in tombs, under aqueduct steps, in olive presses at Beit Karam. In the cave of the old man's pleasure, the scroll reads cryptically, "Dig 3 cubits, 40 talents of silver vessels." Was it code? Landmarks only initiates knew. Eliar's hands tremble as he etches the final entry. Knowing recapture means torture, Romans, per Josephus, excelled at extracting secrets from the hidden, but the temple falls anyway. Torched on the 9th of Ab, it screams, echoing into legend. Eliar vanishes into the wilderness, perhaps joining Essene hermits at Qumran, 13 miles south, where scrolls like the War Scroll dreamed of vengeance against Kittim foes, code for Rome. This wasn't random riches, it was the temple's soul, hidden to deny the enemy glory and await a third temple's rise. Yet doubts linger. Did the Essenes, those ascetic communalists who shunned wealth, hoard this? Scholars like Joan Taylor argue no. The scroll's language ties it to Jerusalem priests, not desert monks. And those Greek letters peppering the sites, alpha, beta, chi, numerical codes, perhaps, or curses invoking Roman myths against desecrators. One theory whispers of Bar Kokhba's revolt in 132 CE. Rebels reusing the list during Simon Bar Kokhba's failed bid for independence, adding their own spoils before Roman general Julius Severus crushed them. The scroll, dated 50 to 100 CE by paleography, lands awkwardly between wars, suggesting it was copied in haste from an earlier parchment, hammered onto copper for eternity in a Qumran cave, long after the community's 68 CE fall. Delving deeper, let's unpack the copper scroll's secrets line by line. It's like a treasure hunter's fever dream, but grounded in grim reality. Column 1 kicks off in the Valley of Acre, biblical site of Achan's curse. Under the steps leading east, 40 cubits, a chest of silver, 17 talents, that's 600 kilos, folks, enough to arm a legion. Nearby, in a pool's drain, 70 shekels of gold and silver vessels. The locations fan out. Sakaka's aqueduct, where under the corner, dig 7 cubits, 30 talents. The Kidron valleys refuse heap, hiding priestly garments and scrolls. Even Jerusalem's eastern gate, where in the chamber of stones, 602 talents. Vague. Absolutely. The descent to the terrace of the valley assumes you know the lay of the land, like a local guide's whisper, and the halls, astronomical, 4,600 talents total. Per estimates, silver alone worth $60 billion today, gold pushing it to $100 billion or more, factoring sacred artifacts like the high priest's ephod, crusted with onyx and jasper. But here's the drama. Why? Copper, parchment rots, papyrus crumbles. This was apocalypse-proof, hammered by an amateur scribe, letters wobbly, mixing formal and cursive scripts as if panic overtook precision. Parallels abound in Greek inventories, like Delphic temple lists, suggesting it was an official ledger, perhaps from Herod's clerks, repurposed in crisis. Emotional beats hit hard. One entry laments consecrated offerings for the Lord, evoking priests' tears as they interred God's due. Imagine the suspense. Eliar's band, hearts pounding, covering sites with thorns and rocks, praying no Roman scout stumbles upon a glint. Subtle fictions. Well, archaeology echoes truth. 2007, Digs by Vendell Jones followed clues to stairs and pools matching descriptions, though empty now. Lesser-known nugget, a duplicate scroll mentioned at the end in the cave of the column, with the Book of the Law never found, teasing a chain of backups lost to time. Rhetorical pause. If this was real, who got there first? Romans, torturing captives as Josephus chronicled their active policy on hidden loot, or post-siege Jews melting it down to rebuild under Hadrian, only to lose it in the Bar Kokhba bloodbath. The Essenes, unlikely. Their Damascus document scorns riches. Yet, Qumran's Cave 3, cooler and drier, preserved this outlier, deposited maybe decades later by wandering priests. Fast forward to the modern hunt, where dreamers and doubters clash like gladiators in a scholarly arena. In 1960, John Allegro, fresh off deciphering, led an expedition, British grit, against Judean sands chasing bait, Karam's pool and Doc's steps. They dug, sweated, found pottery shards hinting at ancient activity, but no gleam of gold. Frustrating, Allegro wrote, like a mirage that recedes. Then came the skeptics. Joseph Millick, scroll editor, dubbed it Essene folklore, a mythic inventory for end times faithful. Theodore Gaster called hoax, two fabulous, echoing pirate tales. But heavyweights like Emil Pietschcounter, the medium screams authenticity. Who'd fake on pricey copper? Academic deep dives, from JSTOR's Copper Scroll Studies to archive.org's Digitized the Jewish War, reveal nuances. Greek letters as isopsophy codes, numerical curses, perhaps Neron Caesar, gematria damning emperors. A 2019 Biblical Archaeology Review piece by Joan Taylor pins it post 70 CE treasures from temple escapees hidden by Qumran's remnants. Lesser-known event, 2007's History Channel Digging for the Truth episode spotlighted Vendell Jones, a rabbi turned hunter, unearthing a pool 40 cubits long per the scroll eerie match, but barren. Conspiracy whispers. Some tie it to the Ark of the Covenant, vanished since Babylon's sack in 586 BCE, repackaged here for safekeeping. Or Egyptian links, per Robert Feather's fringe books, wild, but rooted in scrolls, Sinai vessel nods. Eyewitness echoes survive. William L. Reed, who excavated Qumran in 52, recalled in New York Times interviews the buzz of awe at the copper's heft. Unlike flaky parchments, no primary photos survive, unrolling plastic coated to prevent dust, but replicas at Amman's Jordan Museum let you trace the script today. Modern theory from George Brooke, its lexicographical gold, filling Hebrew gaps on burial and cistern, more treasure in words than metal. Yet hunts persist, drones over wadis, ground-penetrating radar at Jericho, yielding zilch. Why? Erosion, earthquakes, or perhaps the faithful retrieved it quietly, funding secret synagogues. As our journey through the sands winds down, let's reflect on the copper scroll's enduring whisper. This isn't just a lost ledger. It's a testament to defiance. Jews burying their faiths, fire against empire's boot, dreaming of restoration amid ruin. Key lesson: history's true treasures aren't gold, but the human spark that defies oblivion. From Eliar's imagined resolve to Allegro's dogged digs, mysteries linger. Is the hoard under modern highways cursed by those Greek sigils, or symbolic, a midrash on spiritual wealth, as some rabbis muse? Tasteful speculation in a third temple's shadow. Perhaps AI and archaeology will crack it yet, or it's gone, melted into history's forge. What do you think? Real riches or righteous riddle? Drop your theories in the comments below. I read every one and love debating these enigmas with you. If this deep dive ignited your inner explorer, smash that like button, share with a fellow history hound, and subscribe for more unveils of the world's hidden vaults. Until next time, keep questioning the dust. It's full of secrets. Thanks for joining me. See you in the archives.